Very honored to have our next guest, who is a fire breather and a fighter who will never back down. Tommy Robinson. Tommy's got a new book out. But Tommy, first off, I gotta compliment you. Your feed, both on Telegram and your other feeds, you're always ahead of the game in knowing where action is and knowing what is important. Signal, not noise. Your coverage of the videos and everything coming out of the Netherlands and the Dutch farmers. Why, Tommy, why is that such a big deal? You've been involved in a number of these fights. Why should people in the United States of America have any interest in a bunch of Dutch farmers standing up to the administrative state of Davos and Brussels, sir?
Because it's the next phase, their climate change agenda, the attack on their work, that's the agenda of what we're seeing across Europe. Even when you look at the EU budget and how much of it is going on climate change, which is all of our taxes. And whether it be future lockdowns coming from climate change, they are going to push it, force it, whether it be them want you to eat bugs, whether it be Bill Gates buying up the farmland, whether it be the destruction of the farmers so they can control it, the food shortages that are coming, which are probably orchestrated by them. I think it's all very important to watch what's going on and to know what's going on in other countries. And I think the Dutch farmers are now, just as in Canada, the truckers were on the front line of the battle against the vaccine, against COVID. The farmers now, I'd say, on the front line and really bringing this to the world's attention. Well, I say the world's attention, the media are totally ignoring it, but this is an important issue that everyone should be sharing, talking about and supporting them. And it's great to see that they're getting the public support in Holland because this is something that's going to affect us all.
It's going to, Tommy, you probably get it worse in the U.S. is bad, but I think you guys get it worse because of all the elites. When you talk about Davos, talk about Brussels, Berlin, Paris, London, climate change is more. It's high church, isn't that their theology? This kind of Gaia. It's almost like a pagan religion. You can't go against the theology of the high church, can you, sir?
I say you can't talk against whatever their narrative is, and whether that be climate change, whether it be transgenderism, whether it be Islam, whether it be open borders, whichever one you talk about, you will come under intense attack. You will be silenced. And most people are seeing that now. Obviously, on the issue of what I've spoke about, which is Islamic immigration and the effect of that, we were silenced. That's now spread. The silencing of now it's gone to the vaccine. Anyone talking against the vaccine, everyone's under attack. That will be the same with the people who stand up against climate change, because you are getting in the way of the narrative that they are pushing, their agenda they are pushing, the plan. If you get in the way of it, you'll be crushed, you'll be silenced, you'll be attacked, you'll be slandered, you'll be demonized. And they will do everything they can to destroy you. And most people need to realise that. It may have been me yesterday, it will be you tomorrow. So it may be affecting us here now, it's affecting you there soon. I remember coming to the United States in 2010, and I remember giving a speech to America to say, understand what is coming, okay? Understand the attack, the replacement. Understand, because it's happened in my hometown. I've watched it change beyond belief in the short time of my life. Yeah? And that is a blueprint for every other country. It's a blueprint for every other town in the UK. It's a blueprint. And I think most people now, whether it be when Angela Merkel opened the borders to 2 million Muslims and said, come on in, that was the point where I looked and thought, oh, they don't care anymore. Now, they don't care. And that's what you're seeing now on the border of the United States since Biden has taken over. You're seeing it. Everyone's seeing it. And the acceleration of it. Instead of as we raise concern and scream in the streets about what's happening, they haven't slowed down. Has the problem got any better in the UK since we've been screaming about Islam or Islamic immigration? They're bringing it in faster, quicker. They need to, and that all plays in, whether it be with COVID, with climate change, all of these things interlink. Is the new world order we're heading towards, which is the organised so-called conspiracy, which is now a reality, and we're witnessing it.
Right. Oh, no, they laugh at it. I mean, they say, hey, Americans are going to take $5 gas because they got to support, they're going to be there as long as they have to support the liberal world order. The Bodies of Others by Naomi Wolf has been suppressed. How well this book's done. It should have been New York Times bestseller list, but they're suppressing it. Tell us about your new book and how they're silencing the sales that you've had. They're trying to make it harder to buy, and they're making it harder to register those sales about what a big hit this book is, even with the suppression, sir.
So this is my new book, ironically called Silenced, and it's been deleted from Telegram within 7 days. 7 days, 14 days. In the first 2 weeks, it's gone. It went up to number 2 on the biographies. It was climbing the charts, and then I received an email saying it goes against their guidelines. They then told us to review other books. That's because this book, which has gone to number 1 3 times, okay, this book, I'm guessing they're going to delete this in the next 7 days. They've said 5 days. we have to review which books we have for sale, which was this and this. This one's now gone. You cannot buy this. You can buy this on TR Silence, which is a website we've set up, because Amazon have deleted it. You can go on Amazon and buy Mein Kampf in about 20 different languages and more. But you cannot buy this book, which simply tells exactly what they will do. And the point I want to make is they've silenced me, but they will silence anyone who goes against their narrative. Anyone who gets in the way. Whether you, and that's where people, and the people on the left, and everyone needs to realize.
Okay, hang on. They have Mein Kampf. They have Mein Kampf for sale in 20 different languages. What is in, give me 2 minutes of what is in that book that's so awful that they don't want people to read it, sir.
What I'd say the main point, this is about me being silenced, erased from social media, deleted from everywhere, made invisible. So I've now got tens of thousands of books, but no platform to sell them. That's why we've set the website up. I would say there was a court case where I was taken to court over a story which was in the north of England. It was a bottle of water poured over a Syrian refugee. It was made and created into global news. I made a documentary which proved that. The video went viral when they decided it was going to go viral. They planned it all. Now, when the video went viral, it was pumped around the world. Innocent Syrian refugee, horrible racist English bully. I came out, made a video saying to the British public, you are being lied to, okay? This is not the reality of the story. They took me to court. When they took me to court, I wore a hidden camera, okay? And I went to the school teachers, and they took me to court because I said that the Syrian refugee beats up girls, and I'm in the school. Since he's been there, he's been chaos. He beats up girls. He threatens to stab people. We're not being told the true story of what's gone on in this school. I wore a hidden camera. I went to the head teacher's house. You know, I knocked at an Asian teacher's house. He comes out and he says, Tommy, I took the money. And I'm like, what do you mean you took the money? And I'm recording him. Yeah? I have all of this on video. Yeah? And he says, I took the money. I says, who paid you? And paid you to what? Yeah? He said, I'm not allowed to talk about this. I said, in what? He said, I've had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and I say, to prevent you telling the truth. And he says, I'm not allowed to speak about the boy, the Syrian refugee. I says, who paid you? Kirklees Council. So then I go to the head teacher's house. And the head teacher says, Tommy, you'll never get the truth out there about this. You'll never get the truth. Yeah? And then I go to the chair of governors. I get 7 different teachers, all paid. Yeah, all paid. So I put in a freedom of information request into the council. How much have you spent on non-disclosure agreements at schools? £525,000 was spent. Yeah? I then go to, wow. I have my court case at the trial. Yeah? And this is about the narrative and the agenda. Okay. If you try and get in the way, so the head teacher was called in. He was made to sign a non-disclosure agreement. He was then escorted off school property, not even allowed to speak to other teachers. They closed the school down while they pumped this lie worldwide. Yeah, I got proof of all of this. Yeah, I got proof of all of the allegations which I'd said, plus school records. I went to the High Court. That's the High Court in England. And now when I realised that it doesn't matter who you are, Johnny Depp went to the High Court in England. Johnny Depp produced police officer evidence, produced employees of his own wife's evidence. The judge ruled against all of the evidence because the Me Too narrative, yeah, the anti-male narrative, the narrative was what mattered. And the judge ruled against Johnny Depp. And he found that he beat his wife 12 times, which we all now know to be a lie. Now that you, the world, got to see the evidence in a public trial, you know it to be a lie. The world has been told that I lied, that I was the only journalist in the UK who told the truth. I gathered every bit of evidence to prove that. And Steve, I'd like to send you this film, yeah? I made it into a film. I produced it. I give it all to the judge. Do you know what the judge done at the end of the case? At the end of the case, he ruled against me. I've been hit for over £1 million. He ruled against me. His judgment was that 7 teachers and 5 pupils come to court. One girl come to court and testified she was beaten with a hockey stick by this innocent boy, yeah? That's what one girl comes to court and testified. She was a grade A student with no blemishes on her school record, okay? The Syrian refugee had 116 blemishes in a 12-month period. He carried a knife and a screwdriver at school, according to the school records. What the judge done, he ruled against me, and he gave me an injunction preventing me from ever showing the evidence. If I show the evidence, I will get a 2-year prison sentence. Now, this is the freedom, yeah? This is so-called Britain. Now, the difference is Johnny Depp was able to clear his name in the court of the United States. You were able to see the evidence. The public in Britain are still being told I lied. Now, I've had the decision which has been niggling me and eating me because I'm a journalist and I believe it's important for the truth to be outed. At whatever cost, I've done it throughout the years. But the cost currently, if I out this film, will probably be 2 years in prison, which is 12 months of solitary confinement for me. Possible death in the situation, because I'm not very well liked amongst the Islamic community who are in control of all of Britain's prisons. So this film, I believe that I detail this. I go into detail about what they've done. I have all the evidence of this. I have all the evidence. So I think that that's what this is about. And I realise then, yeah.
Tommy, how can people get right now? How can people get to the book? Where do they have to go to actually buy it? If they can't go to Amazon and other places, how do they get the book Silenced?
But now it's on trsilence.com. This book is the first one, Enemy of the State. This is about my life, about my upbringing, about how I become who I am, how I got to the position I have in my journalism. And this is detailing from 2015, which is when this one came out, up to today's date. But then the story of this is the lengths they will go to. Yeah, the lengths, and they feared me, and I realised they feared me because I used to have 1.2 million followers on Facebook. When I went live to over 30,000 people. I had 69 million people watch my videos in 4 weeks. That's when they decided he's got to go. And not just go, but they want to destroy you. That's an example.
Tommy, we've got to bounce. How do they get to, is it Telegram? What's the best way to get Tommy Robinson News?
Tommy Robinson News on Getter, Tommy Robinson, and then the number 1 on Getter. I'm enjoying Getter. I'm loving having my freedom back because for so long I was disappeared. So it's great to finally be back. You can get me on Telegram at Tommy Robinson News. Yeah, I think, and Steve, thank you, because around platforms like this, we're gone.
I want everybody to get on Getter and watch Tommy Robinson. You can also get it on Telegram, but Getter, he's putting up stuff nonstop. Tommy, we're going to get the book, and we'll get back to you on the film. Tommy Robinson.